Yep. All right, we are live.
What up? What's up? We're back.
It is episode 16 of the Start, Build, Grow show. You know, the best part I was thinking about this is we do this every week, right?
Yeah.
So that's 4 months of episodes.
Dude, that's 4 months. We've had
4 months of episodes.
12 people watch.
Yeah,
that's
right?
So
well,
awesome.
you know, it was exciting to watch the growth because when we first started with the show, we literally had a situation where, you know, we were using the camera or the phone for everything.
Yeah.
Our audio was always messed up. We did once, my favorite highlight was we once did an episode for 30 minutes without audio.
Yeah.
But hey, we redid it, right? We redid the episode and ended up being a pretty solid episode.
Yeah, it turned out to be some awesome content. So that's the entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
Even in Facebook live shows, right? This isn't production. This isn't Hollywood. This is just two entrepreneurs putting a show together, trying to bring value, trying to
make it happen. Yeah.
Trying to tell a story to the world and encourage entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So Start, Build, Grow show, episode 16.
Episode 16.
16 episodes.
Yeah.
Here we are. Welcome back.
Yeah.
What's the word for tonight?
Well, where I wanted to start out was, you know, when I was out here grinding, man, last week.
Oh,
where were you? I was waiting for episode 16 last Wednesday. Where were you, man?
Hey, man, I had every intention of going live, but I was in Saskatchewan. So really? I didn't know the entire... I didn't read the whole entire the itinerary the proper way, so I thought I was going to be in a hotel that night, but I was not. I was in a van in the middle of Saskatchewan, going to one of the most remote and one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in the world.
Wow! So
I got to give a little shout out to the Thompson's Cabins at Otter Lake in Saskatchewan. It was an absolute adventure, and a huge shout out to the Breakthrough Academy. You know, check them out, breakthroughacademy.com. They're just an incredible group of people that we've been associated with and that we work very closely with. And they've just, provided some amazing adventures for myself and a lot of people. Hopefully a lot of the Breakthrough guys are watching. What's up? How are you guys doing? So big shout out to them. That was just an awesome adventure. So sorry I didn't make it, but hopefully you got to check out the highlight reel I put together. We caught some big fish. We went on float planes. It was an awesome thing. What was awesome about it is it was a business trip because we actually went real deep and did some really awesome strategic planning on our businesses. So I came back fresh, ready to take over the world. And
how many people were there? How many companies?
Well, there's just about 60 people total.
60 people?
I'm not sure how many companies. I mean, there was hosting and that sort of
thing. But good amount of people, though.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a big video. I'll reshare it once it comes out. We had a whole film crew. It was a cool deal.
That's what's up. What's up, man. All right, well, cool. So, you know, we have gone into a lot of journeys of other entrepreneurs, right? You know, Andrew Allen was on last week.
Thanks, everybody. Hopefully, if you're here, say what's up. As always, we're getting into it. Let's say hi.
Yes, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining in, guys.
He's
what's
logged
up?
in. He's going to try to communicate with you.
Yeah.
If you got a cool comment, cool story, he'll let me know because I don't really want to be looking at him the whole time. So let me know if something comes up. That's really cool. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and talk about it. We want to be interactive as always. So.
Any kind of questions, we'll make sure we hit on those as soon as possible too.
Let's do it.
Any kind of questions are always something we're always excited about. But like I was saying though, man, it's like we dove into so many different entrepreneurial journeys, including your own business partner, right? We talked to your mom's been on the show. We talked about her story, man. Like. You name it, we've had them on here. People from Michigan, we got their stories. It's been pretty cool.
It's been awesome.
To share, every single one of them has had some kind of hiccup, right?
Yeah.
Where you kind of realize no matter who you are, whatever your business idea is, there's no overnight success, right?
No such thing.
It's when you hit that rock bottom, I think it's a response of how you respond to that, and which determines if you're going to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think, that's the best part about your stories. I want to start at your low point, right? What was your low point? Share how bad it got and how you responded to it.
Well, the low point, and then after that, let's detract. Let's go to the early days. My low point is kind of, man, if we're going all in, we're going in, right?
Right.
What led up to it was here it is. So I started full-time in construction, like this first year after I started college. So I went to school, went to college, and decided that I wanted to pursue a career in the construction industry. And the reason behind that was, I always liked building things. You know, I played with Legos as my favorite toy. I just always was really drawn towards building things and creating things. And I started like architecture and just housing. It's just really cool to me to be able to build something and create something from the ground up. And construction was that avenue. And I was just always drawn to construction. And then I correlated that, you know, early on, I didn't know what I was doing, right? Here I am, a 19, 20-year-old kid, and have no clue what I'm going to do with my life. And I always like trucks too. So I like construction and I like trucks. I like cars. I like vehicles. I'm a big car, anything with the engine, I'm cool. I like that.
Do you like the pieces of a car?
Everything,
man.
Cars, and anything with the engine that goes fast, I'm in. It's just fun. So correlating those two is like, all right, big trucks, they're not cheap. Okay.
Yeah.
I see a lot of big trucks driving around town that have logos on them. And they're construction companies more often than anything else. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be some money there. You can at least make enough money to buy a big truck. I like it. I'm interested in it. So let's do construction.
So this is how it started. Construction equals opportunity of trucks. Like that was the formula that was going on in your mind.
You know, as a 20-year-old kid, I wanted a cool truck. I wanted to impress the ladies.
Ford or like Chevy.
Oh, we're not going to go.
We're not going to go. That's a whole
guy. All through,
GM.
Man. Yeah. You know, rest his soul. My grandfather would turn in his grave if I drove a GMC. So I figured that out. I was like, I really want to figure out how to get into construction. But then it came up, how do you do this? Going to school, I was like, all right, I'm going to major in business. And at the time, there wasn't any minors in entrepreneurship or anything like that. So I figured if I can go to school and major in business and with the emphasis in marketing, I'll at least give myself a good base for business. I want to be in business.
So business marketing major.
I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and even as a kid. And I was like, all right, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to study business. I'm going to learn marketing because I think I'd be okay at that. I'd be pretty good at it. It interests me.
Like design work and stuff like that?
Worst case scenario, just marketing. Tactics. Marketing, figuring out how to market a business. I figured if I can sell a business or sell a product or market a product, I'll give myself a much better chance at being a successful.
You got sales, you got marketing, your success rate's going to go up.
So there's a little method to the madness here. And studied all that, but I wanted to learn construction. So I figured out that, hey, what if I could change my schedule around to where I could free up enough time to take on a pretty much full-time position. So then I decided.
What year of college was this?
This is my second year, my
sophomore year.
Yeah. Okay. And so then I decided to try to find a construction company to go work for. I didn't know anybody. And it just so happens that I had a friend of mine who had just gotten an internship just as a receptionist at a construction company. So what I did, I bugged her for months, like, hey, just get me in. All I want to do is go talk to them, just see if they'll hire me too. I'll work for free. I just want an internship. I want to learn how to do construction. And finally, she set the meeting up, and I walked into this guy's office and sat there for, it felt like a day, but maybe it was a couple hours, an hour and a half.
That's still a long time.
Here I am, 19 years old. This guy, which is kind of interesting because he's my age, like he's 34, 35 years old. Here I am, 20 years old, coming in there like, I know nothing about construction, and I just pitch him on the idea that I want to learn construction. I want to learn how to build a house. I'm a hard worker. I learn fast. Like I don't know crap. And I'll do. You will grind. You will grind, and it will not cost you anything. Ready to grind. And I left that meeting with nothing. It was a good meeting. And we talked and learned some stuff, and I left there with no commitment, no nothing. And he was like, I'll think about it. We'll see what we can come up with, and blah blah blah. So I didn't know what was going on. So the next day, at mid to the end of the day, say 2 or 3 o'clock, I get a phone call, and it's this gentleman, and he says, he's like, hey, so I don't have a project manager position available for you. So I'm like, thanks for the call, appreciate that. However, he says, I'm building my own house. So I'm building my own custom home. I'm managing the project myself. It's outside of they build a lot of different custom homes, track homes. I'm building my own. I'm doing it myself. I could use a little help. So he's like, I'll give you a couple $100 a week. You can come and work in between your class schedules, and I just without even hesitating, I was like, yes, sir. Yep, I'm there.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm there. When you need me, you know?
Yeah.
And my very first task was cleaning up a job site. So day one, I get out there like, all right, well, there's the truck. Go take it to the job site. It's dirty. I get there, and there's just lumber and just everything, drywall and everything you can imagine all over this job site. I'm like, oh, this job's awesome. What did I sign up for?
Yeah.
So I went in, got that cleaned up, and ever since it was just learn one thing at a time. I spent a lot of different time with the different crews. Like I spent a lot of time, you know, I would spend time with the drywallers, learning drywall and immersing myself in that. I would spend time with the framers. That was kind of what I was drawn to the most, and I spent the most time.
Framework, yeah.
It's framework, and then trim work. I just kind of was drawn to. I like trim work, and so I did a lot of trim work. So I tried to learn everything I possibly could in the time that I was working there. So that's kind of what
that was chapter one.
Got me into the industry.
Yeah.
Graduate school and had 2.5 years experience, and through that I had got experience in drafting, and I literally had built a dozen homes or been a part of the project management process of over a dozen homes in a matter of 2.5 years, and I literally had to see every single spectrum of construction, of residential construction at age 22, 23 years old, which I'm forever grateful for. So what happened was they got to a point where they bought a bunch of land, and they were like, it's about a 6-month gap before we're going to have much work for you. I'm graduating college. It's like, I need a real job. Like what, you know, I got to make real money at some point, right? Because I was still working like part-time wages, full-time effort, you know? So I had 2 other jobs throughout this whole time just to kind of make do. And I realized like, crap, like what do I do now? Like I can't just sit here and I'm going to just fold up real quick. So I had made a lot of connections, and within 3 months is when I decided to go start the company. So I started the construction company. Our parent company is actually called Elite Custom Builders. And the idea was I wanted to be a builder. I wanted to be a custom home builder, and I wanted to learn and just, you know, use the creative side and build things. I mean, this is like my passion. I love building stuff, and I wanted to do that for a living. And what I didn't know, though, I was trying to pursue a career as a custom home builder right as the biggest, you know, downturn, the biggest mortgage crisis bubble in our history.
What year was this?
About to pop. 2006.
2006.
So I didn't know that much. I was just an entrepreneur. I was just chasing a dream, and I was just going after it. I didn't study the market like I should have. I didn't pay attention, and I just went after it. And we managed to find some success the first couple of years. I got connected with some investors, did some custom basement finishes, and then we got to a point where the bubble started bursting around us, and the bank stopped lending. People stopped. They were investing their own money, their own equity in their homes to do basement finish and remodels and those sort of things. And they stopped. It just overnight, that whole market that I had built my company around stopped. So we did everything we could to just scratch and claw, and I got to the point where I was doing that. I was trying to do the sales, and I couldn't have enough time because I was too busy cleaning up messes or doing the installation work or doing the paperwork or doing the payroll. I was wearing all the hats trying to just juggle this and make this company get going. So I couldn't focus on anything. It's like if I spend my time on sales, nothing gets done over here. If I spend my time over here, no sales get done. So it was just kind of a recipe for troubled waters. And that coupled with the market shift, it all just kind of came crashing down.
And so what was it like selling, you know, during that downturn in the economy, custom homes, right? Like, what was just the persona of people that are out there buying it? Who was buying at that time?
Man, at that time, anybody in there could buy a house, and they were buying it up.
Yeah.
It was you know, it was what led up to the mortgage crisis.
Right.
And it was really easy to get a loan. They had signature loans, like stated income and different things that just made it really easy. And unfortunately, there was a lot of unscrupulous things going on in the background. Yeah. Where, I mean, I don't want to get into the mortgage crisis, but a lot of things going on in the background that caused all this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was bad because I unluckily was literally trying to build a construction company at the time I was in a county that had the highest foreclosure rate in the country.
Right.
At that time, I think 2007, 8, it got to the highest foreclosure rate in the country. And I was trying to build a construction. And obviously being young and dumb and made some dumb personal mistakes as well. And it just all, was one really tough lesson. And I got to a point where, it was trying to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. It was like my Home Depot lines were maxed, my credit, was just on the verge of collapse. I was trying to manage every little ounce of, cash flow I could do. And I've always been very good at that sort of thing. And it just got to a point where it just got completely overwhelming. And I had to do something. And it was probably one of the toughest, lowest, hardest things I ever had to do in my life. And I sat in that place for a while. I had moved to a different state to chase another, to do everything I can to try to salvage, what I could from that situation. We'll talk about that too. I became an insurance adjuster. Yeah. And doing that process, I was at a pretty low point when I became an insurance adjuster to try to chase hurricanes, chase storms in order to bail myself out of this business I was trying to build, Yeah. And
so mentally and emotionally, where were you at that point?
Oh man, I wouldn't say for that long, but I was at a place where I felt like everything I tried, I took 2 steps back. I didn't have the money to invest in anything. I didn't have the money to even pay for training or education, or I didn't have the money to go out at night. Like, it was my girlfriend and I, we had just enough money for maybe one of us to go hang out on our Fridays. So I'll sit at home and play video games. And that was a tough time, both financially, emotionally, everything. But through faith and here it is, by the grace of God, he found me in that place.
So what was your takeaway from that whole situation?
I was selfish.
Yeah.
I was selfish. That's how I got there.
How so?
Because I was trying to build a business and become this entrepreneur for the wrong reasons. I was worried about what other people thought. I was trying to be this hot shot and cared about the girls and the glory, the glam, and it was all about me and how much money can I make, and that's what my conditioned mindset was of being an entrepreneur. And unfortunately, the media is what does that. You can't go on Facebook without somebody opening the car door to a Lamborghini.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, heck yeah, I love a Lamborghini. Yeah. But there's so few people in the world that actually, get to that sort of a level. Yeah. That's not what entrepreneurship is all about, man.
So what is it about?
So entrepreneurship is about just chasing a dream and learning everything you possibly can along the way, and just never giving up and being a learner, like learning everything you possibly can at all times. At every level you get to in success, if you focus on learning and learning from other people and putting others first, I believe it's about people. Entrepreneurship is about people. A lot of people keep score as an entrepreneur with their bank accounts. It's like, how much money do I got? How much money can I make? Oh, I'm a 6-figure this, $1 million this. And in my mind, I believe entrepreneurship is people. I like to keep score with how many opportunities I can provide and help people succeed in. I love that. Like, I could care less about the money. When someone achieves a goal or achieves a higher level of success or ultimately a new level of happiness in life and contentment, like that's how I keep score. And that's, like, to me, the ultimate thrill. So that's why I focus so heavily on building a big company and multiple companies, and now coaching and helping others, because, man, that's a rush, man. When someone calls and is like, dude, that you gave me some advice and I implemented it and we're doing this and everybody's excited, that there's nothing better than that for me when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So I think, though, every day there's either a person that never starts or somebody else that just quits, right? Because there's a thing in their mind, right, that doubt in their mind that builds up after mistake after mistake, that they're like, I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. How do you know if you're meant to be an entrepreneur? Maybe not everybody's cut out to be.
You know what? I think there's 2 different takes on that.
Yeah.
To be honest, because there's one side of that is a notion that everybody can be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can come up with an idea for a business, right? But I think like the entrepreneur is, as sad as it is, like when I analyze myself, like I truly believe that like when it comes to like pure just entrepreneurship, pure just creativity and ideas and just only all business, all trying to create business and put things together, I feel like that's I'm like a pure entrepreneur. But the downside of that is I'm unemployable. And that's entrepreneurship. If you are truly unemployable,
I think I might be unemployable.
If
so that's
you
a good
unemployable, thing. You could be an entrepreneur.
That makes me feel really good about myself, and I feel a lot more confident.
There you go.
Because I'm truly unemployable.
It doesn't have to be one. We don't need to categorize. I honestly, I'm not a big fan of the word entrepreneur anymore. I feel like
that's a good point.
Everybody's an entrepreneur.
Buzzword, right?
It's such a buzzword.
Yeah, you got to do Instagram profile.
Yeah, I mean, anybody and everybody can create a professional profile and be an entrepreneur. Great. Hey, that's awesome. That's the age we live in. Own it, embrace it. Is what it is.
Right.
So I prefer like creator.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where entrepreneurship really is at. Is your ability to create. That's to me what entrepreneurship is all about. Creating.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So okay.
How we doing? What's up, everybody? This is getting intense. So we got some viewers.
Yeah, we got some viewers going on.
Awesome, man. We got some people checking in. Glad you joining us here. We're trying to switch it up. What do you think of the set? I don't know. We decided to kind of go from a different angle and change it up a little bit. Usually we have a little different. So throw us your comments. Let us know how that goes. What are we doing? What are you thinking?
Let's see here. So what do you think about, you mentioned now that you have consulting almost for everything in your business now, right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Why is that? I mean, you've done it already so well. Why are you bringing all these consultants in?
Think about it. What we don't realize is the biggest, baddest, most successful Fortune 500 companies, every single one of them bring in consultants all the time. Think about that.
That's a good point.
The most successful, profitable companies in the world, the biggest, baddest companies in the world, consult and bring. And I don't even like this. I don't even like consult, coach, mentor. I like mentor. Mentor, coach. But they hire high-level consultants to come in and work on one specific piece of their business. The bigger the business, you grow. The bigger you grow your business, the more segmented it becomes.
Right.
So now what you need to do when you get to a certain level, like we're talking next level, you want to go 8 figures and above. It's your business becomes segmented, and now you need professional consultants and professional mentors to help within certain segments. And now you can start sectioning those segments out, like the finance side. That's a big one. I mean, roofers, we don't know what the heck we're doing when it comes to the books and bookkeeping and taxes and all that crap. I mean, you better pay someone to make sure you have that stuff in order if you want to scale a business, like hands down, right? We have a lot of education based off that, but it's ultimately you need to some advice I got in college, in entrepreneurship school. It was that there's 2 things you need as an entrepreneur: a good accountant and a good lawyer. It is absolutely true. So to the young entrepreneurs getting started out there, if you find certain levels of success or any success at all, you get to a level and you're doing business for a long period of time, you will need a lawyer and you will obviously need a CPA. But unfortunately, there's times where you need both at the same time. That's not good. So it's important that you set those up first.
Okay, got it. All right. So what about have you ever had any kind of mentor then, or anybody that's been
I've had a lot of mentors, and I currently have. Man, I'm on the phone all the time with people that I respect and I talk to, and that I mentor. I mean, you mentor me. It's like I try to just soak it in from every single interaction I have. Every interaction you have, there's some level of mentorship, especially if you're surrounding yourself with good people. If you're surrounding yourself with people that have a lot of energy, that work hard, that are smarter than you, that you just feed off of that. And that's so mentorship is all around. You just gotta think of it that
be willing to listen.
But to be more specific, I've been blessed to have the opportunity of had some great people mentor me over the years, and some great leaders that I've been able to connect with, and I still to this day connect with, and I encourage that. I mean,
how important is that?
It's very important. I mean, you know, there's no here cliche. There's no book on entrepreneurship. There kind of is, but there's no, you know what I mean? There's no right way to do entrepreneurship, right? There's no one way. This is X, Y, and Z how to do this and how to build a business.
Yeah.
So having someone that has done it before to help guide you as you do it, it helps.
It's like a playbook. Almost.
Absolutely. I mean, words can't even describe how much it helps, because you can take exponential leaps. I'm not talking leaps in cash or leaps in, you know, revenue, but exponential leaps in efficiency, profitability, in your ability, in structure, and that's where the value is in having, you know, mentors and people that you can look up to and talk to and run ideas by that are not necessarily in your organization, because it's easy to kind of get into this group think where, you know, you're in an organization and, you know, you're trying to come up with a concept or you're trying to make a decision, and everybody's there trying to make this decision, trying to evaluate something, and no one's really coming to the table with a unique idea, right? It's easy to just be like, oh yeah, it's all good, let's go, it's awesome, you know. But if you have someone outside kind of looking in, trying to kind of think outside the box or look at it from a different perspective, it really helps. And
that is,
you know, it's humbling. I didn't have any sort of you know, I had lots of mentors growing up, so I had lots of people, but actually like structured, you know, consulting, that was later on. I couldn't really afford it early enough. And, you know, nowadays with the age of digital, that it makes it way affordable to where it's almost a no-brainer for anybody who really wants to kind of exponentially grow their business. But
I think, you know, that you had a good analogy there. Is like, I almost think you coaching or a mentor is kind of like you're stepping back, right, as a quarterback, and you're trying to find an open man, and you're getting blitzed on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And that coach has a chance to be sitting on the sideline, kind of analyzing your play, you know?
Totally.
Okay. So that's cool. So what about, you talked a little bit this week about leadership, right? And what I've noticed is with, you know, the companies that I've had an opportunity to work with or observe is the company is almost like a mirror reflection of like a leader or leaders, right? And it's pretty crazy. So do you have any kind of leadership tips that you can dive into how to improve your leadership, how to analyze your leadership, and kind of analyze that going into your team?
Self-awareness. You know, I'm serious. It's self-awareness. Yeah. You know, the better you can understand yourself, and the it's really hard for entrepreneurs and leaders and bosses to step outside of themselves and look in from a different person's perspective. That's very, very hard to do. Just, it's human nature. It's hard to do. We're selfish beings. We were created to our instinct is for self. Our instinct is to protect ourselves, protect our own, protect our families, and our mind it tends to be, you know, conditioned that way. Whether we're a selfless person or not, it's just human beings, it's human nature to be kind of putting yourself first and be kind of, you know, self-focused and not truly be able to look at yourself from another lens. And that's where the self-awareness comes into play. So I feel that, you know, that my journey in learning myself really played a key role in getting through those levels, breaking through those barriers when it comes to building a business and creating a life for myself and a company for a whole lot of other people, and becoming a great entrepreneur is all about just self-awareness. And what I've learned is I'm actually pretty good at just a couple things, and to get myself into a place that I'm hyper focused on those things that I'm really good at. It's been a journey. It's been a long journey, but I'm there, and I'm happy. It's really a really cool place to be. And I wanted to inspire others to be able to get to that place, to where it's not about like I'm not working on my business. It's I'm immersed in my businesses, and I'm doing not only what I love, but I'm naturally good at. What my God-given ability to do. Create things, come up with ideas, strategize, and network. that's what I do. And it's just an ideal lifestyle, and it's created just amazing opportunities. And I want to, it's not fair. I want to share that with the world. I want to provide that sort of opportunity to help others get to experience those sort of things. It's a cool place.
So we talk a lot about the losses, right? The low points, because I think that's something that's valuable because people can relate to that and build up their confidence or get over the hump that they might be in. But dude, let's talk about that shiny moment. Do you have this is tough, man, right? Because it's a journey, but do you have any favorite moments? You're like, dude, on this day, this happened, and I was like, this is why I started my own business or became an entrepreneur.
It's hard to.
That's a tough question, man.
Yeah, because
but there's got to be something.
There's a ton of different moments. I always ask this question. Give me question. The moment question.
The moment.
There's been a lot of them. I mean, I think that a lot of the moments are kind of happen all the time when somebody gives you that feedback, something you did help change my life.
Yeah.
When we're able to give people promotions and we grow the company, every one of those are just awesome moments,
Yeah.
But I'm a roofer. I'm in the hail business. I'm in Denver. We get hail.
Yeah.
It's every year when we get that hailstorm, it's a new moment because we've been prepping. I'm telling you guys this. We've been prepping ever since the last storm how to capitalize on this storm. And you keep doing that.
Yeah.
You keep doing that. And then all of a sudden, it just gets easier and bigger and bigger and better and more efficient. And it just turns into an awesome thing with a lot of awesome people that all get to benefit from it. So that's the moment. Is when an entire organization of literally 100 people are all just yes, their energy something happens, and it's an awesome.
That's got to be crazy.
Cool
yeah. So then let's talk about that because honestly, that's a huge moment for all these companies. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody, the whole team is like, yes. So obviously, you talk about how you've dialed in the production and being prepared on every aspect of the business to maximize those opportunities. Right? Do you have any little nuggets that we could be, handing out for those storms of how to be prepared?
Man, I thought we were telling the story.
Hey, man. Hey, let's get some tips, man. We got some people on here. I'm trying to make some money for some people. You know what I mean?
You know what? Start preparing now.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's everything you do, you should be analyzing in micro segments. Okay? It's easy to, go through a year and then look back at what did I screw up that year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I used to do things. I was all about, hey, okay, each year, thorough analysis, and we're gonna, and we're gonna make changes and that sort of thing. And that's all good. You still do that, but to take that to another level, you should be testing and improving and learning every step of the way. So start now to figure out how to do something better next year.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, it's like a storm happens and you don't get your marketing out in time, or you don't execute something in time. Or you don't have something in place. You don't have your signs. You don't have something ordered already, or you don't have your guys finished training or something like that. You kind of get caught off guard.
Yeah.
It's okay, learn from that. What can we do next year, or what can we do next week in case there's another storm, right? So always be analyzing as much as you can, as fast as you can. That way you can fix those mistakes and improve all the time, and then do an analysis later. It's going to be a whole different ballgame.
What categories are you focusing on the most? Is it sales, marketing, production, or
Well, yeah. So here's what happens.
Yeah.
A hailstorm happens.
Yeah.
I like to use the analogy of for a roofing company. For those of you who are interested in the hail market, want to know how insane it is to actually try to build a company that's reliant on hail. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Guilty as charged. It's like the video of the snake eating the anaconda.
Yeah.
You should edit that.
That's what it's like.
Like the snake eating the anaconda, right? Yeah. It's like this huge, or I said the snake eating the deer, right? The snake eating the deer, the anaconda. And it's just huge mass that just has to be fed its way through that snake.
Yeah. You can see
and that's what it is. It's you just get hit with a ton of work all at once. So the first focus is obviously sales and marketing. You gotta have a marketing strategy in place. the storm hit within minutes. We had posts, we had stuff going out within minutes, and we just been hitting it hard. We had a plan in place.
That's all locked and loaded.
So sale. Right now, it's just get in front of as many people as you possibly can. Market yourself, brand yourself, get out there as much as you can.
Where are you going?
Next comes production.
Where are you going? On that? Where you go where the sales guys going and everything like that? Like, you know, if there's a wide range, how do you pick that? Because I've heard that question thrown around a lot too.
It's a challenge. I mean, it depends on your market. I mean, if you're in a small market, it's easier to just be like, I'm focused right here. But in a big market, you find yourself going all over the place.
Yeah, so that's just part of it. You're going down.
Unfortunately. And well, it depends. If you have a lead generation, if you're getting a lot of leads and you have a brand where your phone blows up,
then you got to.
There's a little bit of, that's the only downfall. It's like you kind of spread yourself thin a little bit. Yeah. But if you're door knocking, you can just, find an area and just lock yourselves in. Right. So we try to use like a hybrid, like use the leads to get into the, and then door knocking that.
Yeah.
So it works out pretty good.
Nice.
So next is production. So right now we're focused on production. Sales is happening, right? That's already happening. We already prepped and ready for that. We know that within 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to get slammed with a crap load of work that we got to produce. Plans in place. We're executing. We're interviewing. We've already hired staff to be able to handle it. Yeah. We're training. It's like we're already in the production mode 3 weeks before we get hit with production. Next comes billing and supplementing. So supplementing's in place, building. So they're already getting prepared. So it's like at each stage of this,
it's like building an army.
You got to prepare to be able to eat that and eat it as efficiently as you can. Because at the end of the day, it's all about cash flow. And if you screw that up, it's game over.
So how many roofs do you think you could do in a week if you needed to?
A week?
Yeah.
If we push, and we purposely don't. Yeah. We kind of purposely limit a certain amount.
Right.
But I think we could do 100 roofs
in 1 week.
Yeah. If we pushed it hard,
that's pretty impressive, man. So, well, what else? I mean, should we dive a little bit back into your journey?
Go back, man.
Yeah, man, because we got a little bit. We've been going for about 45 minutes now.
Okay.
But we have some people going on. I wonder if we've got any questions. What's up, guys?
Everybody, we're excited. We're just chilling, chatting. If you have questions, fire them away.
Hit us up.
But early on, childhood entrepreneurship is awesome, man. Yeah. I got a cool story.
Okay, you got one?
So right here in my neighborhood, I'm just out walking my dog, and there's kids out there on a Saturday with this awesome little stand built. You can tell these little 3 or 4 kids in the neighborhood put a lot of effort into this. They made a sign, they made a name for the business, and they had baked their own cookies, and it was just the coolest little thing ever. So I go out there, and I'm new to the neighborhood, introduce myself, and I started mentoring these little kids, like giving them some, hey man, maybe if you did this or package this together, you'll get more money. I gave them like a $20 bill. Like I didn't even take anything. That was fun. I love childhood entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's kind of where you get your first little taste of it, and it all starts with, okay, how do I take this dollar and turn it into $1.50?
Yeah.
Right? Or $1.25. Right. And that's what entrepreneurship literally is all about as ground floor, is taking $1, doing something with that dollar, and getting a return that's more than the money that you put into it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I've always been intrigued by that. I used to buy, I'd take my allowance and go buy blow pops at Sam's Club. My mom would take me to Sam's, the department store, or the big grocery store. And I'd get the box of them. And I did the math, and I figured out that, okay, if I can sell them all at like 25 cents a piece, and it cost me like, $8 or whatever it cost me, then I can make like $5. So you know what I mean? I was like, sure, let's do that.
That's good profit. Yeah.
So I proceeded to do that as my first ever business venture.
Yeah.
I got shut down.
The demand was high, right?
Demand was high. I was in the back of the school bus, like hustling blow pops.
Did you know this was unallowed at the time too?
I didn't. Yeah. I learned a lesson early. I should have been a little more discreet, but I was like, hey, everybody, blow pops. Give me your money. Bring it tomorrow.
Business was booming, right?
Business was booming.
So,
and that got shut down, I think, within like I didn't even get through an entire box because the bus driver reported me and called it. And so I had to shut that. I had to shut that business down. I didn't have a license. No registration.
That's a learning lesson right there for all the roofers out there, right?
Get a license.
All right, so when we mentioned the capabilities, I wanted to dive on this real quick because we had a couple questions. But when you mentioned the capabilities of what you can do on the production side, Julio, had responded to that and a follow-up question. He also said, "Do you outsource supplementing?"
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I outsource to my own supplementing company. Well, essentially, you know, it's like we've grown we outsource, and it's not a bad idea to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this day and age with roofing, because of the anaconda eating the deer, I would encourage as much outsourcing as you can, because your outsourcing costs scale with your production.
Yeah.
So I outsource actually. I have a lot in house, but we outsource things. But yeah, we put the process and structure in place for it. But yeah, we outsource to independent contractors that do the supplementing.
Cool. And then, I think we can kind of talk about too, just because we're on that topic real quick, is scalability. How do you know you're ready for scalability, and how do you go about scaling your business to that next level?
You know you're ready, like, as it's happening, I guess. But the reality of it is you really got to have process in place.
Yeah.
All too often we see big dollars and big numbers, and I want to build a company and millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. All I got to do is knock a bunch of doors and put a whole bunch of sales guys out there and sell a bunch of roofs, and I'll make all the money. Mm-hmm. There's so much more to it than that. So we get caught like with our pants down, not knowing how to produce, and we can't produce it. We don't have the crews or the skilled crews to do it, or the skilled quality control to handle it, or the production system, or a CRM system in place to handle it. You got to think, like, if you're going to try to go from 50 roofs a year to 500 roofs a year, you're not going to be able to do that effectively taking a file and going like this. It doesn't work. You've got to have structure and process in place to do that, and you've got to have an educated team to execute as well. So you got to be able to just scale as you get to certain benchmarks and certain levels. You add a person, get to a level, add a person, and then you just kind of start the process of departmentalizing. Even with 3 people, you should have even if with 3 people, you should have a very distinct roles and duties and responsibilities illustrated. All 3 of those people should know, this is my role, this is my responsibility, these are the things within the business that I am responsible for. And they should also know what the other person is responsible for, and they should know where the line is and not to cross it. Like, stay in your lane, know what you're doing, and just get as good as you can at that. And as you grow, you create more lanes.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. We're getting a couple of sales questions now, so I'm just pivoting towards some of the questions here. This one's interesting because I don't know the last time you've done this, but do you have any tips for the door knockers? Do you have any any best pitch tips?
Yeah, man.
How to practice that? Door knocking.
Yeah. Hey, door knocking, I give the same exact tip to a door knocker that I will give to an entrepreneur or a business owner. Do something different. Do something different. Like, as weird as it sounds, like we've played with the walk away. Like, literally, you're knocking on the door, someone opens it, and you're like, hey, I'm with so-and-so roofing, I'm going to do an inspection of your roof, I'll be right back. And you literally start walking away.
How's that go? Is that good?
What? and believe it or not, you get on the roof. And you also broke down a barrier of, what is this guy? And then you start talking to him, and you articulate that you know what you're doing. You build rapport instantly. You're good, right? So, you got 10 seconds to create some sort of emotion from that client. Okay, that's seriously what it is.
Emotion, for sure.
You have to create emotion that is a positive influence on that person within 10 seconds. Okay, it starts with appearance. Look more professional than the next guy. Seriously, look more professional. Do something a little bit different. Have a better design, something. Sure, you do something different. You don't need to show up with that suit and tie, then you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. But do something a little bit different to catch their attention that's different from other people. It's really hard to differentiate when there's 30 door knockers out there. But do something funny, and also pay attention. Every door you go up, you should pay attention to your surroundings. Look at their license plate. Look at their bumpers. Look at their yard. Is their yard manicured? Do they have a dog? Are they a Kansas fan? Are they a Nebraska fan? You know what I mean? Open with that. Go Huskers! Oh, hey, I'm here to inspect your roof. It'll take me 10, 15 minutes. I'll do a thorough evaluation of it, and I'll give you a digital analysis. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Now you go get your drone, and you have some fun with it. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Yeah.
Like, catch their attention, build some rapport, and as sad as it is, so many people like these scripts.
Yeah.
But man, just be yourself.
Are you anti-script then?
To an extent, I think there's certain keys that you can
guideline and then differentiate yourself.
Yeah, take a script and then input your own personality. Okay. Because if you're trying to be scripted and dialogue, people are going to see right through that.
Personalities, everything.
Be yourself. Do something different.
Yeah,
simple as that.
All right, so I'm going to bring it somewhat towards a close here. We're coming up near 7 o'clock. But Penny asked.
We got celebration. Celebration.
Yeah, we got a celebration.
We'll talk about that. For those of you who have hung around, you got a really special treat.
You know what? Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Actually, you get one to wait for a second because we got 7% of the battery too. So I'm gonna make it real quick. So what do you think? How about we just dive into that? Let's just dive into that. What are we celebrating about? Why is today such a big day?
Okay, so just about 2 years ago, this time of year, because it was actually more like August, is when I read. I'd already, we'd already built this business, and I love business. I love all this stuff. It's like I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always thinking of ideas and how do I maximize my opportunities in life. And I got a hold of a couple books. Mm-hmm. I got a hold of Awaken the Giant Within from Tony Robbins. I got a hold of The Power of Broke from Damon John. Mm-hmm. And I got a hold of Crush It and Ask Gary Vee from Gary Vaynerchuk. And this is when I really got into some Audible, and a light bulb went off that, hey, I got enough of a story, and I feel like I've really built pound for pound one of the best, most structured, most organized companies in the country. And there's no way that I can capture the whole market. There's no point even trying. So why not share that, and why not create something to give that information to the world? That was the idea 2 years ago. From there, it just so happened that I got a message from a publishing company that had seen some content or something and somehow got a hold of me. And I'm like, all right, let's see what's up with this. And worked out. They're, a great company. They actually helped me do the whole process. We went bestseller. I mean, it was really cool. So that was a little over a year-long process. And all the while, we were like, what are we doing with this? We want to teach the world how to do construction. Like, put a construction book out there that tells the entrepreneurial journey, but also is very educational, and that really, really teaches people how to not only be an entrepreneur, but to be a leader, and the nuances of starting, building, and growing a business. That's what the book was all about. Like, how do we take that to another level? And this was the time of there's a lot of online courses coming out. I started to see, I'm like, there's an opportunity here. Mm-hmm. Because I knew I wanted to go into consulting, and I love helping others, but there's only so much time in the day that you can do that, and to be physically involved, it's hard to really do that and reach the masses and provide a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. So I was like, why not take the book and take all these lessons and make it way better and more detailed and way more professional and create an online course. So that's what we did.
And so why are we celebrating?
We're celebrating because today is actually the first. It's live today. Well, I mean, it actually went live today. However, for those of you who are watching, this is a live only, for the first 10 people. First 10 people who are interested in the course, roofing contractors that want to start, build, and grow their business and are interested in our course, we are doing a ridiculous soft launch where we're giving 40% off of the rate that includes coaching with myself. So we're only doing it. It's ridiculous. It's probably going to close tomorrow. It's limited to the first, certain amount of people. We already have a waiting list. We haven't even emailed them quite yet. You can still get on that list. But for the next 10 people who DM me directly that you want interest, I will send you the promo code ahead of time. And that promo code will give you literally first mover advantage, access to our program, and early on, and you're going to be able to kind of start, build, and grow with us. And we really, we're really excited about the first first handful of people. We don't want to go to the masses yet. We want to get a good core group, and we want to kick some butt and really help them and create this. It's bigger than just an online course. It's a culture. Yeah, we want to create a community that we can all learn and grow from each other. So we want to make sure that first core community is just full of really solid, really great entrepreneurs. So 10 people, DM me, we'll communicate back and forth, and we'll get you that promo code.
And I'm super excited too. It's been awesome, man. It's been a journey. I'm
this
so
guy,
about this
I can't even tell you, this guy. We don't even talk about it enough, but this dude, he and his team, they put in a lot of effort and a lot of energy in the background, making all this stuff happen. And you see all the posts and all the videos, and we get, I mean, we went from getting a couple hundred views to thousands of views, with very minimal investment because just putting out good quality content. And this is the man behind that content.
I appreciate that, man.
Nick Perret.
Appreciate you, man. Well, hey, guys, I want to end it on this, though, guys. When an opportunity knocks, make sure you open that door, all right, guys? Absolutely. Episode 16 of the Start Build Grow Show, guys. Thank you. Let's see here. Wrong one.
How was that? Was that just like absolute fire? It sounds